I'm Marcus Coward, and this is Wake Up New Bedford. I'm here with Mark Dressel.
Hi.
Mark, pleasure to have you.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here. I'm so excited.
And so this is your first interview?
This is my first interview, I think, for pretty much anything besides like job interviews. This is the first interview I've done.
Yeah, and time being like on TV or in front of the camera.
I'm excited.
For sure. And so you're still in high school?
Yeah,
Okay.
I am a junior at New Bedford High School.
Yeah.
Still not even, colleges haven't even like crossed my mind yet, so I'm still very much in high school and I'm excited.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Mark. So are you from the area?
So I grew up in New Bedford. I grew up in the North End, right next to Voke, actually. Like,
Sure.
I can see Voke from my bedroom. It's pretty cool.
Really?
Yeah, I grew up in the North End, and then I went to elementary school in the North End, went to middle school in the North End. But going to high school, it was kind of a transition because New Bedford High School is in the West End.
Sure.
So it was a transition of who I knew and like the places I knew, because there were people that went to like Keith and Roosevelt that knew a lot more about the area than I did. Even though we're all from New Bedford,
Yeah.
it was still a demographic change. You know what I mean? So it's fun, and New Bedford High School's given me the opportunity to push myself and like meet new people that I didn't think I would ever have met before.
So why did you want to go to New Bedford High instead of Vogue?
Well, one of the biggest reasons was that at Vogue, it's very much a trade school, and you kind of have to know what you want to do. And that was kind of scary to me in 8th grade. I was like, I don't know what I want to do. And even now, I still don't 100% know what I want to do.
Sure.
So I was like, I'll go to New Bedford High, get as many like just general courses that I can, graduate high school,
Yeah.
and then figure out what I want to do and when I want to do it.
Sure. And so are you in a big family? Do you have siblings?
I have a younger sister. Her name's Riley.
Okay.
If Riley's watching this, hi Riley. And I have an older brother and a sister-in-law who they teach in Fall River, so they're older, but yeah, it's exciting. And then my two parents, of course. So
Sure.
not a huge family, but not the smallest either.
And so do you have, you say you don't know what you want to do, and you're 16?
I'm 17.
17, yeah. So you have plenty of time to figure that out. But
Yeah.
what do your parents do, and do they influence you at all?
My whole family is actually, I come from a very big teaching family.
Sure,
My
me too.
parents are both teachers. My dad teaches at Keith. My mom teaches at an elementary school in the North End where I went.
Okay.
My grandparents taught when they were teachers before they retired. My brother and sister-in-law also teach. Like some of my aunts and uncles teach. My cousin's going to school to be a teacher. My whole family is teachers, and if they've influenced me, it's kind of shown me that I don't want to be a teacher. Like I've looked and I've tried. I just got done with the Mayor's Youth Council. We did a leadership academy, and we had to teach like middle schoolers, and I was like, this is not for me. I was like,
that's a tough demographic.
Yeah,
right there,
I was like, I can do this, but like,
yeah,
if I don't have to, I don't want to do this for the rest of my life.
Yeah, for sure.
Like,
for sure.
my parents enjoy it. They love their jobs. That's great for them, but I think I'm going to find something else to do. So.
Okay. And so as far as for your classes right now at New Bedford High, what's your favorite? What are you best at? And then are they the same?
My favorite, it would probably have to be AP European history.
Okay.
I like the stories that I know history. It's all real stuff that happened, but the way history is taught, it's kind of taught like a big story.
Yeah.
And
sure.
I like that. It's fun to like. If I were in this historical time, like if I were here 200 years ago, what would I be doing? It's kind of interesting to look at, and I enjoy doing it. It's probably not my best subject. I mean, it's not my worst.
Sure.
My best is definitely math. I'm in AP Pre-Calc right now, Pre-Calculus, and last quarter I had 101 average, which.
My God, that's amazing.
Yeah,
okay.
we got some extra credit opportunity, and I took advantage of it.
Yeah, okay.
So,
that's dope.
Yeah.
That's really cool. And so was it the same trend in middle school? And yeah, I was going to ask elementary school, but really on middle school.
Yeah, in middle school, I was pretty good at math. Math was one of my favorite subjects. History in middle school was on and off. My middle school years were like pretty much all taken by COVID. So we didn't have big like one-on-one with the teacher. The teacher couldn't really explain a story to us.
Yeah.
It was kind of just like, watch Mulan and analyze the historical things that were in
Sure.
Mulan. And we were like, oh, okay,
Yeah,
all right,
yeah,
we'll do
yeah.
this. Like, here's Kung Fu Panda. Tell us what the Chinese invented in ancient times. We're like, oh, all right, cool.
Okay. And so, do you feel like that was, and there was no convenient time for COVID, but do you feel like that was a convenient time for you to have been during middle school instead of high school or some other time?
Actually, this might be an unpopular opinion, but I think it was. 6th grade, I had I don't even know what to call it, but I was not doing great. I didn't want to go to school at all.
Sure.
Then COVID hit, like right in the middle of 6th grade, so I didn't have to go to school, and I was like, this is awesome,
Yeah,
thank you.
okay.
And then 7th grade, it started off virtually, and then it went half and half. So I kind of got to get comfortable a little bit. Like, I didn't have to be in there every single day of the week,
Yeah.
and with people that I didn't know or wasn't huge fans of. I got to get comfortable with myself. So even though it was not great timing, it helped me like get comfortable with myself, so that when 8th grade hit, where we were half and half, and then all year, and then when I eventually hit high school, I was comfortable with myself. I knew I could talk to people. I knew I could make friends pretty easily, and that if I had issues, I knew who I could go to and who I could talk to.
Sure. And so, it didn't sound like it was too difficult of a time for you, like going to school during COVID.
For me, it wasn't, especially because my cousin, he came over because we were in the same classes. So
Okay.
our parents were like, oh, let's just send them to the same house while everyone else is out working.
Sure.
We'll send them to the same house so they can do their schoolwork together. And it was so fun.
Yeah, it sounds
we
cool.
ended the day at like 11 o'clock, and we were
Yeah.
watching Phineas and Ferb and building pillow forts. So it was
awesome.
awesome.
Super cool. Yeah, I definitely can't complain. Yeah, okay. And so, now being at New Bedford High, have you found a group of friends you feel like you can, be comfortable around?
100%.
Yeah.
Freshman year, I found my group of friends, and it's just expanded since freshman year.
Yeah.
Sophomore year, I ran for class president, and after losing class president, I ran for the student advisory council, and that helped me open my horizons to even people that I wasn't necessarily friends with. I could still talk to them and be friendly with them. Like, it kind of put me out there, so I had to talk to everyone and
Sure.
had to be at least friendly with people, or if not friendly, polite.
Yeah.
So running for student advisory council, it's really like, if someone needs something, they'll come to me, or if I need something, I'm like, oh, I know who handles that now, because
Yeah.
I've been told by all these people. I'll go to them and have them help me out, or it's been awesome.
So what made you want to take that position? What motivated you
What
towards that?
motivated me?
Yeah.
It was actually a history class. It was my
Okay.
AP US history class. We were talking about the government and whatnot, and someone in that class, Mr. Elliot Talley, he is chair of the Student Advisor Council, and he talks about it all the time. He loves it. He loves what he does.
Okay.
And I guess in our history class that we shared, he was like, you have to run. And I was like, I do? And he's like, yeah, you do. And I was like,
Wow.
okay, I'll do it. I was like, I'll do it. That
Okay.
sounds like fun. So he helped me. I ran. I got in, and yeah, it's been fun. We've been working on improving school lunches. We've been working on access to technology.
Sure.
We've been working on all sorts of things around the high school. It's been pretty fun.
And so, did leadership come somewhat naturally to you? Did you find yourself when you were younger being interested in leadership, or it's something you had to learn?
I think it's something I definitely had to learn. Like, I'm still not 100% perfect or great at it,
Yeah, no
but
one's gonna be.
it's something that I've always been interested in. Like, even in middle school, when COVID hit, we were all home, but it was like 2020, so it was like peak election season.
Sure.
So that's all I saw in the news, and I was like, oh, this sounds interesting. Or it's like, oh, that person said something not great, or oh, that
Yeah.
person said something that I agree with. I was like, oh, okay. So it was fun to watch it happen, and then to transition it to high school, and then to see, oh, wait, there are things like this in the high school that I can
Sure.
participate in.
Yeah.
And then, again, election season happened this year, and it was starting to rumble up last year when
Yeah.
we were talking about running for Student Advisory Council. I was like, okay, I like this. This is fun to be involved in. This is fun to keep track of,
Sure.
to me. I know not everybody enjoys keeping track of politics and
Yeah,
whatnot,
exactly.
but
No, but I'm totally there with you. So when I was younger, and I remember in 2008, my dad made me and my older brother keep up with the Obama,
Yeah.
campaign and the election. And so was it your parents who were really putting pressure on you to keep up with that, or that was personal interest?
my parents had put it on originally. They put it on and they were watching it to like keep up in general.
Yeah.
But I kind of got intrigued by it because I was like, oh, I remember in elementary school, the school ran a mock election in 2016.
Okay.
And I remember me and my friends, we'd go around at recess and like tell everyone, vote for this person, vote for this person.
Sure.
And then that person won and we were so happy at recess.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I remember that the first time around, and then in 2020 it was almost a repeat. It was just a different person, and I was like, oh, this is interesting. And I was older, so I kind of had a different like view on it.
Sure.
So I was looking at it and I was like, oh, okay. Everyone's saying a lot. Everyone's so like divided and everyone's so passionate, whichever side they're on. I
Yeah.
was like, let me like dive deeper into this and see who's exaggerating, who's not exaggerating, who's doing this, who's doing that. And it kind of stemmed from I had so much time. So
Okay.
I had time to research it and I had time to kind of not get involved in middle school, but to like educate myself. So I kind of knew where I stood more or less.
Sure.
And yeah, it started with my parents, but it was definitely a personal interest that kept it going and has kept it going.
Sure. And so, talking about having a lot of time, did you not have a lot of extracurriculars that you were into?
The extracurricular that I did have during COVID, I dance. I've been dancing for
Really?
15 years since I was 2. Yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay.
So the extracurricular I did have, it was dance, but it was in the middle of COVID where we couldn't really be in a tight, cramped room, heavily breathing on everyone.
Yeah.
We had suspended it more or less, and on occasion we'd have like Zoom meets, but it only did so much.
Exactly.
You can only do so much on Zoom. But yeah, the extracurriculars that I did have, they were kind of suspended temporarily while I was getting involved in it. So.
And then, so when you're running for Student Advisory Council, then what was campaigning looking like for you?
So, actually, funnily enough, I didn't really campaign.
Okay.
Earlier in the year, I had run for the class president, and I had lost. But I had done a huge campaign, and I had posted posters, and I was telling everyone, vote for me, vote for me.
Okay.
We made videos. It was
Really?
It was a lot.
Yeah.
But I lost that election. So then, when Student Advisory Council elections came up a couple months later, I was like, okay, yeah, I'll do it. I don't have any other like position.
Sure.
I'll run for this.
Yeah.
So I run, and once I found out that I was like clear for running, it was like a week-long campaign.
Yeah.
What happens at the high school is you have to get your like posters approved by the principal.
Sure.
So I sent mine in like that Sunday, and she didn't look at it till like Thursday, and the election was Friday.
Yeah.
And Thursday I get the message. She's like, "Yeah, you can post these up." I was like, "The election's tomorrow morning." I was like, "There's no point in me posting any of these." So I ended up not posting anything. I was just kind of telling people, "Hey, please vote for me, please." And I mean, it worked enough. So this year it's going to be a lot bigger and better though.
Yeah.
Hopefully, when I rerun.
Is there a lot of competition in the campaigns?
There are definitely powerhouses. Like there are people that 100% like will talk to everyone and anyone, and will 100% are more comfortable talking to people than I am.
Sure.
So there's people like that you're like, oh yeah, they're gonna get in. The question is, are they gonna get in and kick me out? But there wasn't too much competition last year. Last year I think there were 5 seats on the Student Advisory Council. I think there were maybe 9 people that ran. So there were a couple of people that didn't make it, but it wasn't like neck and neck. Like one of the stories I heard was one year there's 5 seats and there were like 90 people running.
Holy moly.
Which is insane.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
Yeah. So compared to years previous, there wasn't too much, but there was a little bit. Yeah.
And so with the Student Advisory Council and then with class presidents, is there a school president?
No, there's not an official school president. Effectively, the chair of the Student Advisory Council is, because the Student Advisory Council gets the principal's discretionary budget.
Sure.
And it's kind of it's not just stuck to one grade. It's
Yeah.
it's the whole school. So
Okay.
whoever's in charge of that could, in theory, be like a school president, but there's no school president.
But then there are 4 class presidents.
Correct. There's presidents for. Actually, there's only 3 because the freshmen don't get one
Interesting.
because they get a year to like settle in,
Yeah, that makes sense.
and then the year after they get to run.
And does the advisory council and the class presidents, do they work hand in hand, or they're kind of separate?
They're usually kind of separate. Sometimes if like the student advisory council wants to do something and they're like, hey, we need people to like get this out to their classes, we'll be like, hey, class president, can you tell your class about this, please? And
Sure.
they'll be like, yeah, of course. Or,
Yeah.
or
Okay.
they'll be like, nah, we don't have time, or we're doing something else that day. And we're like,
Yeah.
ah, okay. But usually they're separate, but sometimes they collab.
Okay. And so you haven't really thought about college yet, you're saying?
All I know is that I want to go to college, but I'm not 100% sure like where or what for.
Sure.
So
And you haven't determined on if you'd want to go somewhere close to family, or do you want to go far?
I know I wouldn't go past New York
Okay, sure.
because New York is it's like 3 hours away. So like driving, it's not too bad. It's like a short plane ride. And in New York, colleges are still good. Like they're still
There are good colleges
they're,
everywhere,
they're
man.
still
Yeah,
great
yeah.
like quality.
Sure.
So I definitely want like I don't want to say colleges are bad everywhere else besides New York, but like
Yeah.
I want to say past New York, like in New England, it's very like there's a lot of colleges
Yeah,
and there
yeah.
are a lot of great ones.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't really want to go outside of
Sure.
that because then I have to like hope and pray that I get into like a really, really nice one somewhere
Sure.
else, like in California. And
Yeah.
plus California is a far way away. So
It is very far. Time zones.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
jet lag is crazy. I don't want to.
Yeah,
I don't want to be
sure.
caught by that.
No, and you want to stay somewhat close to home.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And so you don't necessarily know what you want to do yet.
No, I'm not 100% sure. I'm thinking maybe something like law related or maybe politics related. but
Sure.
I haven't decided yet.
So you being involved in high school politics, let's say, has that encouraged you in getting involved in, national or adult politics, or has that discouraged you?
It's definitely encouraged me.
Yeah.
One of the things that happened was for the student advisory council, each student advisory council in every town and city in Massachusetts gets one like representative and one alternate
Okay.
on their school committee board.
Okay,
So
sure.
the New Bedford School Committee, it's like the mayor and a bunch of other people, and then they get one like student representative on it.
Sure.
But that student representative, while being a member of the committee, they can introduce things into the schedule, they can do whatever,
Yeah.
but they cannot vote on anything. They have no voting power.
Sure. Okay.
So
that can make sense.
that's one of the things that's been like going back and forth. Like there's been bills introduced at the state house. It's like, yeah, we need votes for students, and then they put the bill in, and then it gets like grouped in with this other bill, and then that whole part gets stripped, and then it gets
Yeah.
sent off to committee to never be seen again.
Yeah.
So it's been definitely a battle. Like even in school politics, being in the student advisory council, and Elliot being so active in the community, he's kind of been like, Mark, come here,
Yeah.
come look at this.
Yeah.
This is what's happening at the state level with our student advisory council thing. This is what's happening at the state level legislative wise.
Is he the school committee student rep?
He is, yeah. He's the
Really?
chair, so he's our school committee rep. So he knows what's happening like statewide. He's involved nationally more or less, but he's definitely involved locally, and he's very inspiring
He
to get
is.
people passionate about
Yeah.
anything politics related, so, like anything at all.
Yeah.
So it's definitely been encouraging to get me inspired to go explore local politics, especially.
Okay. And do you see yourself? So maybe not teaching, but do you see yourself being involved in schools, either in the school committee or in policy?
I think that would be fun.
Yeah.
It would definitely be fun because coming from a background of so many teachers, I know, like, I've heard of so many issues, like, from the teacher's point of view.
Yeah.
But I don't always 100% know the, like, top admin point of view. Or
Sure.
sometimes the admin point of view gets explained, and I'm like, I still agree with the teacher's point of view.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
the
yeah.
teacher's point of view makes more sense.
Mm.
So I think I would definitely consider in the future, not now because I'm still in high school, but
Yeah, yeah,
I would
yeah.
definitely consider in the future maybe like running for like a school committee member or something.
Sure. And yeah, I mean, right now you definitely just have a really interesting perspective in being interested in national and state policy, in having that teacher's perspective, but then still being a student, but a student who's involved
Yeah.
in, I don't call them high school politics, but but politics at your level.
Yeah.
You know, so you definitely have a very interesting perspective.
I think it's definitely fun because not only do I have the student POV, I have some of the teacher POV. Like I'm not 100%, I'm not a teacher by any means.
Yeah.
I don't know everything that happens
But you're
with
around
teachers.
teachers.
But
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
around teachers and
Yeah.
I hear things from my parents. I hear things from, even though my brother and sister-in-law teach at a different district, it's still more or less the same issues that are going around. So I hear from all sorts of people.
Is there one that pops out that is kind of like across the board that teachers keep bringing up as far as for issues?
An issue?
Yeah.
One of the biggest issues that I think around the board is uneven enforcement of like policies.
Okay, talk about that.
For example, at New Bedford Public Schools in general, they have a cell phone policy, and this actually just recently came up at a school committee meeting.
Okay.
And the policy is you can't have your phone on your person, or it has to be off, like powered down and away,
Okay.
and you can have it on you because you can't have your cell phone out at all.
Okay.
And what happens I can speak for New Bedford High School and some of the middle schools, especially through the years, is it hasn't been evenly enforced. Like some teachers will be like, no phone, I see your phone, it's out of here, you're
Yeah.
out of here, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Other teachers would be like, I didn't see it, or
Yeah.
or he's not doing anything wrong with his phone, so
Sure.
it's okay. Or like, I don't feel like calling admin, so I'm just gonna let it be.
Yeah.
And the uneven enforcement of like policies and rules, it sets a tone for students that we just got to find the teachers that'll let us get away with it.
Sure.
And we just got to be like, oh my goodness, that teacher's so mean because that teacher enforces the rules.
Sure.
And then that teacher's going to get in so much like hot water because there's so many students complaining that he's actually enforcing the rules he's supposed to. And I think it's definitely an issue on the admin level, but also to an extent on the, I don't know if the school committee counts as admin, but they're not very familiar all the time with their policies that they've like voted to put in place.
Sure.
Or the enforcement of their policies. So they'll get complaints from parents, and then the school committee will get complaints from parents, and they don't 100% know. Like they just know, oh, this kid is getting yelled at, and his parents complaining about it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go talk to the admin. The admin's gonna go talk to the teacher, and now that teacher who was actually enforcing the rule that was put in place by the district is now getting like a mouthful from 5 different people.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's definitely stressful on teachers, the uneven enforcement of policies and rules, but
And I'm sure that some students, because of that, may feel targeted or feel like they're getting away from it, but you never want, any students to feel targeted just because some people are going to be enforcing it while others aren't.
100%. And it leads to things like, not so much with cell phones, but like dress codes. Like some teachers, I'm enforcing the dress code, and they'll be like, dress code. But then those same students will walk around to other teachers and be like, oh, they're not commenting on what I'm wearing.
Yeah.
So you must be a weird person for looking at a kid like that. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. So that uneven enforcement will show itself in several ways.
Right. So
Yeah.
it's not a great thing, and it definitely needs to be improved upon, at least in this area. I'm not sure about like up in Boston, but I'd imagine it's similar.
Sure. And so New Bedford High has a dress code?
I don't even know, to be honest.
Sure.
I'm not sure. I know the middle schools did have dress codes. I'm not sure if they still do. I'm pretty sure they still do. I'm pretty sure New Bedford High does have a dress code, but
Sure, it's pretty loose.
I've never, yeah.
Yeah,
I think freshman year was the last time I heard something about it, so
sure, okay.
2 years ago.
And so, just we have a few minutes left, but finishing up with phones, okay? Do you feel like phones can help either put students at ease or give them, different tools to succeed in school, or have they really been like a distraction for students?
I think phones are one of those things, like it depends on the person, 100%. But in general, they definitely are distractions. Like if I get a notification, even if my phone's in my pocket,
Yeah.
my brain's going, oh, what just notified me? Who texted me?
Yeah.
Ooh, should I respond right away? Is it that person I have a crush on that I wanted to text right
Sure.
away? Like
Yeah.
it definitely is a distraction, and it definitely like contributes to student stress. But at the same time, there are situations where students need their phones on their person because they need to keep track of certain things. Like if they need to take a medicine at a certain time, they need
Sure.
to know that.
Sure.
If they have to call their parent because for some reason their bus got canceled or for some reason something happened and they need to call someone, they need their phone. And at the same time, technology access in New Bedford Public Schools, it's half and half. Sometimes there will be websites that you genuinely are not like malicious at all, are not like a distraction. It's not like a video game website. It's like a learning tool, and it's blocked. So the teacher would be like, pull out your phone, use your phone for a calculator, like
Sure.
something like that.
Yeah.
And in those cases, the phones are useful, but they definitely are a distraction because, like I said, you get a notification,
Yeah.
your brain's going, you're bored, you're gonna pull out your phone, watch a movie, you're
Sure.
bored, you're gonna pull out your phone, play a video game, and now you're not paying attention for when the topic switches, and now you actually have to know what's going on, but you think they're just going on the thing that you're bored about, so you're still watching your movie.
Sure.
It's 100% a distraction.
And do you feel like it's a good
Yeah.
compromise with turning it off, but maybe having it on your person still?
Right. And
Sure.
one of the talks that is going around and is going to be implemented is using yonder pouches. And
Yeah, I've heard about that. Okay.
yeah, there's definitely some pushback on it. It's basically this pouch where you put your phone in, and it has a giant magnet that like snaps it shut,
Yeah.
so you cannot access your phone, and you can only unlock the bag. Well, you can only unlock the bag if you use the like demagnetizing thing that opens it. It's like
Okay.
a little like thing that they attach to like a wall or something.
Okay.
And it's definitely going to be a big shift from the current policy, because the current policy is away and off, and even then, especially at the high school, it's very loosely enforced. Like you're
Yeah.
technically not supposed to have it out in the halls.
Sure.
And I'll walk around with it out, like
Sure.
texting someone, be like, oh yeah, I'll be here at this time. And,
Yeah.
and I'll have like teachers walk by me, be like, oh hi Mark, and I'm like, oh hi.
Yeah.
So it's definitely going to be a shift next year at the middle schools and the high school with yonder pouches being implemented. How it turns out, we'll have to wait and see, I guess.
Yeah. But admin definitely has their work cut out for them by implementing changes, and then also being aware about how those changes affect the students, and then being able to adapt, whether they need to change it or
100%.
Whether they need to tweak it or whatever.
And one of the big things is they can change the cell phone policy, but it's only as good as its ability to be enforced.
Yes, exactly.
So if they tell you, yeah, you have to have your phone in the yonder pouch, but after the first 4 weeks, no one's checking if your phone's in the yonder pouch,
Yeah.
the kids just have it out and no one's reporting it, then it effectively is back to what it was.
Yeah, exactly,
And you just
exactly.
spent all this money on a bunch of yonder pouches. So we'll see how it turns out in the next year.
Well, that's been part one. I feel like we still have so much to talk about. Like, I definitely want your opinion on, because New Bedford High has metal detectors too, right?
Yeah, they have weapon detectors.
Yes, so I definitely want to ask your opinion on that, SROs, and I also would love to hear more about dancing, okay?
Okay,
'Cause
all right.
I used to dance when I was younger, and
What you do?
So we can get into that.
Okay.
And just about the dancing scene here.
Yeah.
I'm super interested about that, actually. So this has been part one on Wake Up New Bedford with my conversation with Mark Dressel, New Bedford High student, and also we can talk about your community engagement. And you got an
the toy
award.
drive. Yeah, I did.
Yeah, from the Human Rights Commission.
I did. That was fun.
Yeah. So we we have plenty to talk about in part 2. And thanks for watching. Catch us in part 2 on Wake Up New Bedford with Mark Dressel.
Thanks.
Peace.